Okay, this is Moonbeam, aka Riftjaw Animations. So this is a video on how to make a good protagonist, which is the good guy, the main character, etc., for a story. Which this is about writing a novel. It's when you go to write a novel or a short story or anything you're doing. It also technically could be applied to a film if you're doing a video, but this is mainly for stories like books. I'm not actually going to show any actual writing. I'm not going to be writing on the keyboard or anything. I'm just going to be explaining some things that make a main character more interesting, a protagonist. Okay, so the main character needs to love something or someone enough to die for them. That's one of the biggest things. It's also one of their driving forces, which also makes it, because it is a driving force. It both makes the character more realistic and makes have a bit more logical sense, and it also makes the character more likable. Also, the antagonist, which is like the villain, the bad guy, the guy who's the most against the main character. They must threaten whatever it is that they love, that the main character loves, in order to make the bad guy really. You don't really, if you don't want anybody rooting for the bad guy, make the bad guy threaten what the hero cares for most. And also, more on this. What does this character struggle with? The main character. What does he struggle with, and what does he want, or he or she? What do they want? What drives their actions? Uh, like, what is it that they want? Like, besides, part of it, yes, a driving force would be what they really love, to protect what they love. But also, if you want to add a little more complexity to it, and more interesting, make it a little more interesting and complex character. What else drives their actions? Like, let's say something they want. Let's say it could be a romance novel, like they want to, like a boy would want to find a girl would want to find a boy, that kind of stuff. Uh, or if the person wants to get a new job, or if they want to slay a dragon, so they're thought of as a hero in their village, like something like that. What is their dream? That's another way to put it. What's their dreams, or long-term dreams and short-term dreams, along with what they love. Uh, as in, they have characters. We want to drive them. It makes it more interesting. You can just have a main thing, but it adds more depth to do this. What do they love, and what are they trying? What is something they love enough to die for? Someone or something they love enough to die for, like say it's their home or place or let's say the world, I guess, uh, or someone they love. They need that. They need something to love enough to die for. Uh, Also, they need to have something. They need like their dreams. They have to have some dreams, long term dreams, the big thing they want, and also maybe some short term dreams depending on what's happening at the moment for the character. Like, let's say they are trying to do something. In order to get to the bigger dream, they have to do this small thing or this smaller thing they want. But they have to have a big dream as well. Uh, Also, what is keeping them from what they want? This could be themselves, struggles they have. Let's say that someone has addiction, or a character has addiction, or a character has something like they're too afraid to do what they want to do, what they really want to do, their dreams, and they're too afraid to protect what they love. Uh, or it could be an antagonist, the villain, could be keeping them from what they want, keeping from their dreams, keeping them from what they want, and like keeping them from, even from, like, again I said, they have to, the villain has to, or it could be a scenario, a villain or a bad scenario, something bad that's happening that's threatening everything. It could be like non-personal at all. The antagonist doesn't may not even be there may not even really be a main antagonist. It could just be like something's happening, like let's say there's a blight invading the world, a disease, aliens invading. That's kind of, those are more general. Like aliens can be more in general. Like an army could just be more general, not really personal, just something that's happening. They don't know who's in charge of it. But like something bad, something bad's happening is threatening what the main character wants, what the protagonist wants. It also You also have other things, factors, like let's say the character is hurt too many times and they can't get up now because they gotten hurt too many times. And it could also, you might also want sometimes to have something when they can't feel like they can get up. You kind of want to have like a climactic point where they overcome what they uh, in the story, the character it's called a character curve. I'm pretty sure that's what the term is. You have to have the character have something they need to overcome. That can be themselves, like a struggle, personal struggles, inner struggles. You can have it could be an antagonist, or a bad scenario, or it can be a combination of those to make it more interesting, or like a temporary scenario or something that's in the way. But at the point where they overcome it, it has to be climactic. You can have like small victories leading up to it, then they get pushed back down again. Depends what kind of thing you're going for. But yes, that's one big way to make it a main character. You also want to kind of have an idea what they like and what they don't like, or little quirks they have and little things about them. A little more, maybe like what they prefer. Like figure out kind of their preferences, or if they don't know their preferences, like let's say they wake up with amnesia, that kind of leaves a blank slate for what's happening. So that'd be a better character. A person who can't remember, doesn't really have many memories, doesn't really care. You kind of can put them on an adventure with that, and look through their eyes, discovering the new world around them, or what's going on around them in a different way. Or you can like have a character who does have some past they remember, or like they can do that with that as well, with those kind of characters too. But you also want to have if there's a foundation for the character, and sometimes if their memories, they have memories, they don't always bring them up. It kind of shapes who they are to that day. They have preferences, unless they don't know their preferences, like they have amnesia or something like that. Their preferences can kind of affect what they do as well. But if there's something that they care about more than their preferences, they'll deny themselves their things that they prefer. Also, something like for how the character looks, you don't have to worry too much, because unless they're looking in a mirror or something like that, you don't really mention how they look all the time. You can kind of at the beginning, or have like a moment where they're looking at themselves. It could be a literal like man in the mirror thing, but their looks, you have to kind of fit with the personality you create for them. This is like not totally something I can teach way too much, but picture the character in your head, and figure out what they want to look like. Their personality will you kind of want their personality to fit a little bit how they look. You kind of just sometimes you can just feel it out, and also naming the character. That can be a problem sometimes. Not knowing what the heck to name the character. Their names can have a meaning for the character. They can mean something, like the actual meaning of the name, or like an irony that you reveal later on. Or they can have a thing where the character just names something that sounds right. It's just more of a feel out thing. There's other things about a main character that you can do. Like maybe they don't know about this kind of if you want like them to. This is usually better for a fantasy thing or a sci-fi thing where you want to introduce a new world that you've created. The main character can just observe everything and not entirely know what the heck is going on, how to explain to him. But make sure you don't. Just make sure you don't that you do show versus telling us. And I'm not gonna really discuss that in this video, but yeah, this is basically how you have the starting grounds for a main character. This is more of the framework, and a few little side things. But I hope this helps, and please tell me in the comments below anything else you'd like me to do a video on, and please let me know if this helps.